What is your will, my master?
Hey, good morning, William. Quick demo video for you for your custom flagship that you sent me. Um, I got this done this morning. This saber came with two different grips, right? It's got this one grip on here now, and these are 3D printed, but they're just they're handle sleeves basically. So you could swap them in and out. So you've got this one, the Mandalorian themed one, and then you've got this secondary one that was in the box as well. I took a little bit of design cues from this one and from this grip, and I put them on the chassis so that it kind of matched no matter which sleeve you used. Okay, we've got your red button that you wanted for your main activation. This saber was installed at Golden Harvest, and it was a one button setup, but I went through on the back here, kind of hard to see in the light, but you'll see it in person. I put a small brass tactile switch right here, and that's for your auxiliary function. And then we reused your stock V3 MPXLs in here. And then you just want to open the handle right here, unscrew the handle to get to the chassis. You want a clear resin chassis. So that's what I put in here for you. So there it is, clear resin. You've got an 8 pixel accent strip over here. And then you've got another one in here. You can see that through there right there. It lights up the chassis really well. We did reuse the 28 millimeter speaker that you provided. I don't think this is a Smuggler's Outpost Dark Side though. Just a 4-ohm speaker, right? But it works fine. You got a removable battery setup, so spring side over here for your negative. And then your Proffie board right here. Let me turn this down a little bit. So the Proffie is glued down to the chassis. On these resin chassis, I have to do that. I can't get the press fit on this that I would on PLA, or I might break something. So I just adhese it down, but you can take your SD card in and out from here. And of course you can get to your micro USB from here if you use a 90-degree cable, which is what I use. And they look like this. 90-degree cable like that, right? So you can do everything from here and not ever have to move the board. This is a Proffie from Dark Wolf. It had a bunch of sound fonts on it already. I took one of the config files that was on there, and I had to add a secondary blade style to each font for these pixel strips. So I did that. I modified the config. I used a different button prop, and I put a copy of the config file that I used, or I'm sorry, of the config file that I made on the SD card. It's called William_config.h. That's the one that I made for this guy. So it's got your swing on, twist off, and different blade style for these pixel strips. Okay, let's throw a battery in this guy. I'll show you a sound font with the with the handle off, so you can see what the chassis does, and then we'll throw the handle on, and we'll go through a few of them with the handle on and a blade in.
You do have a great many things to explain.
So you can see both sides are lighting up. That side, but then it's easiest just to see it like that. They're both even. Light it up until you turn the saber on. It goes faster until it gets to red. And then it does that. The auxiliary back here. Whoops. So the chassis will react to the auxiliary button being pressed. And we'll turn it off. Now I have this chassis on a timer, so if you leave the saber off, it's not going to blink like this forever. It will go off eventually. All right, but we'll put the handle on it right now, and we'll screw this down. You can kind of see your chassis blinking in here from the pommel section. That 28 millimeter speaker takes up a lot of room, but you can just barely see that LED ring in there, right? So you do have twist on, or I'm sorry, swing on. All your LEDs are firing up. Twist off. You had this thumb screw in here for your blade retention, so I left that obviously. We'll throw a blade in. You asked me about volume, like what the volume of the speaker was set to. I set it to 2000 when I'm using 28mm speakers. I always do that. You can adjust it if you like. 3000 is max. I don't ever suggest going up that high. Usually 2000 to 2100 is the most that I'll push it, and that gives you a very good sound, right? And not blow the speaker. But 1-inch NeoPixel blade, 1-inch diameter. Good flash on flash. Auxiliary button, right? If you want blade lock up, you'll hold the aux and hit the saber at the same time. And you see that right there. To get to your soundtrack is just a long press on the power button. And then the same thing to turn it off. One long press will turn it off, and then of course we hit auxiliary, go to our next sound font.
Disgraceful.
Blade lock up.
Just a simple wonder.
We won't go through all of them, but we'll go through a few.
I'm right.
So see your chassis lighting up in there. Just like that, and then we'll take the blade out. I forget how many fonts you had on here. I think, it was close to 20, maybe. Yeah, so they're all still on there. The only thing I changed, like I said, was I changed the button prop. The button prop that I use, and then I added a blade style to every font to accommodate your chassis LEDs, because I wanted them to be doing something different than the blade. And they just turned off like that because I do have them on a timer. But you can come over here when you're done from the positive side of the battery by the speaker, and you should be able to pop it out with your finger just like that. And that is pretty much your Flagship. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, I will send this out to the address you provided tomorrow morning. All right, thank you.